10 things that will shock you about Portugal. This one coming from Wolters World. I'm really excited for this one. Kind of an old video, about 9 years old. I think the information is probably still pretty relevant though. Portugal seems like an amazing place. I had an opportunity to go to Portugal I would have been there about 2 weeks ago, but our friends a couple of months ago said, hey, we're going to do a trip to Portugal. Do you guys want to come? I'm still waiting for my passport, so I couldn't. But nonetheless, I told them, yeah, like I would love to, but I don't think you want me there because I'm going to be filming and doing like my own thing the entire time. But yeah, they said they had an amazing time. They went to some lesser known towns, did some wine tasting. I think they flew in a helicopter, quite a bit of some crazy stuff. But all right, without further ado, let's get into this one. The 10 things that will shock you about Portugal. Smash the like button. Let's dive in.
Hola, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and we're in Lisbon, Portugal, my old stomping grounds. I lived here for 5 years. I love Portugal, but even a place I love like Portugal, I know there's things that'll shock a tourist when they come here. So what we have for you today are the 10 things that are going to shock you when you come to visit Portugal. Now, the first thing that's going to shock you is when you go out to eat, and you're going to have to pay for the bread and butter. Yes, the bread on the table, the butter on the table, the olives. These things you do pay for here, and they actually are in the...
You know what? There's a couple of places I've been to here in the States that do charge for bread and butter. Olives, of course, you know, if you're getting some nice olives. But yeah, most of our restaurants will just give you bread and
menu
butter.
Now, you'll see that. But the thing is, if you're coming from the U.S. or other places that, oh, chips and salsa is free, bread is free. Here it's not the case. And I know people that have actually spent more money on the bread, the cheese, and the ham that they've been given. They spent more money on that than they did on their actual meal, okay? So be careful with that one. So you might be shocked, yes?
Hold on. I love these plates. These are so cool. We kind of had plates like this a little bit. My wife used to design the house in a very, I don't want to say Spanish style, but it was more of like a Mexican style. They were kind of like this, a little different, but... yeah, they look really, really cool.
And that than they did on their actual meal, okay? So be careful with that one. So you might be shocked. Yes, you do have to pay for the bread and butter in most places. Not everywhere, but just pay attention. Now, if you don't eat it, you don't have to pay. You don't want it, you say no thank you. They'll take it away, no problem. All right? So, but that'll be the first thing that shocks you. The second thing that may shock you is also to do with the restaurants, is the fact that a lot of the places will close the kitchens between 3 and 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So if you're a tourist and you're used to eating at 5 o'clock in the afternoon for dinner, realize you're going to have to go to more tourist areas to get dinner, okay? So
okay, yeah, we eat dinner at like 6:30. I'd be able to wait there.
There's places here in Lisbon that do open throughout the day, and the kitchen is all the time. But a traditional tashka, like a family-run restaurant, they'll serve food from about 11 till about 3, and then they'll serve food again from 7 till 11 or 12. Now the thing...
So maybe he's going to cover this. Can you still be in there though? Like if you're having a couple of beers, they just don't serve food? Maybe he'll explain.
The restaurants won't necessarily close during the day or during that off time. What they'll do is they'll have what are called salgados, like little savory treats, maybe croquettes of meat, or you can get a tosta mista, a toasted ham and cheese sandwich. But if you want, you know, bacalhau à brás or bacalhau com natas or porco preto, the really awesome dishes here, it's hard to get in the late afternoon hours. So that's going to shock you. But just know if you want the real Tasca Portuguese experience, you might have to wait for it, okay? The third thing that might shock you when you come here, and this is actually the first thing that shocked me the first time I came to Portugal, Portuguese bullfighting. Now, if you go to Spain, you see the ole stuff, and you see the swords and things like that. Portuguese bullfighting, they don't kill the bull in the stadium. And the thing is, it's more horse riding in the beginning.
I've been to one of these in Mexico, and it was wild.
And they ride the horses around to tire out the bull, and then there's a bunch of guys in these kind of funny outfits and green hats. They kind of look like Portuguese elves. They go out there and they literally, and they catch the bull. I'm not kidding. The bull charges him, they catch the bull. It is completely insane. When you see it the first time, it will shock you. If you're here in the summer or the fall, you might see it on TV, and you're just like, what the heck? Yes, Portuguese bullfighting where they actually catch the bull,
And
it'll shock you. The fourth thing that might shock you when you come to Portugal, especially if you come from the U.S., is the Portuguese love to smoke. They smoke a lot here. And you'll see people outside and in the cafes and outside banks and outside offices smoking. There's no stigma on smoking here in Portugal. So a lot of people, when they come from the US, like, oh my God, everyone here is smoking. Not everyone, but yes, smoking is quite common here. And that does shock some tourists that, yes, you can't smoke next to people. And the thing is, they do have a law. You can't smoke inside unless...
By the way, I know this surfing is amazing in Portugal. We did a video months ago, probably 8 or 10 months ago. I did a video on the surfing in Portugal. You guys just never saw it. We couldn't get it up. It was blocked. But yeah, I have seen a little bit of the surfing. It looks amazing. The best surfing in the entire world, right? I think like the largest waves.
You have designated smoking areas. So if you're flying in and out of Lisbon, they actually have like a small, like cordoned off area that's just for smokers, okay? The fifth thing that might shock you when you come here as a tourist is trying to find good lower price and middle price hotels. There's definitely a lack of those in Portugal. So if you're looking for hotels, you're not going to get much great stuff, lower end, middle end prices. So what I recommend is Portugal actually has some of the best hostels. I know, hostels. Mark, I'm 40 years old, 30 years old. I don't go to hostels. They have family rooms there. They have stuff like that. But honestly, Hostel World has ranked a lot of the Portuguese hostels, especially here in Lisbon, some of the best in the world. And also, Portugal is really good with vacation rentals.
9 years ago, this was probably Airbnb was probably barely just coming on the scene back when this was made. Sure, there's probably plenty of Airbnbs in Portugal, so hostels, Airbnbs, and then really expensive hotels. Okay.
In an apartment. We're staying here in an apartment this time, and it's great. We got bedrooms, we got laundry, we got all kinds of stuff, so you're gonna go that way. But trying to find a cheap hotel or a middle price hotel that's good is kind of tough. So stick to hostels, a written apartment, or go high price, okay? But it is kind of shocking where, you know, you could go from Germany or Austria and you find like good middle price stuff, and you don't have so much of that here. Now, the sixth thing that might shock you about Portugal is their concept of time. Going out to lunch? Yes, that's gonna be 2 hours. Going out to dinner? Yes, it could be a 5-hour affair. We went to go have lunch with our friends in Sintra the other day. We ended up at their house for 11 hours. Time in
11
Portugal
hours?
is quite relative, okay? So when someone tells you, hey, let's have dinner at 7, what they probably mean is 8 or later, okay? So don't be...
Yo, I am way too introverted to be spending 11 hours at someone's house.
surprised. So if you meet Portuguese people and they're really nice and they speak English really well and they invite you to do something and they say, oh, let's meet at 8, you just say, hi, I'm from a country where 8 o'clock means 7:55. When should I be there? Okay, so just do those things. It'll make your life a lot easier. But the concept of time here does get some of the tourists upset because they're always getting a coffee or having a cigarette or things like that. Now, the seventh thing that may shock you about Portugal, and may give you white knuckles, is the driving. Oh my goodness, it's like every Portuguese person has a little rally driver inside them and it's going shoo, 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 shoo. It doesn't matter where you are in the country, it's like little rally drivers everywhere. And if you take taxis, which you will because they're nice and affordable here, you will feel that, oh my God, I'm going to die feeling. And the thing is, yes, they do drive kind of crazy here and they drive very fast. But one of the weird thing is I found that if I'm in the crosswalk, they actually do stop for me. But if I'm walking on the sidewalk and I get a little too close to the edge, woo, hey, it gets a little close there. So be careful. One, if you're driving or if you've got little kids, you keep them next to you all the time, okay? Because the driving here is nuts. Like white knuckle driving, scared out for your life in the taxi sometimes.
White knuckle driving.
Yes, that can happen. So just know that, all right? Now, the eighth thing that might shock you is when you come here to Lisbon, you're gonna get somebody that offers to sell you sunglasses. And then you'll say, no, I don't need sunglasses. And then they'll say, oh, hashish, cocaina? You want like marijuana or cocaine instead? You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That escalated quickly. Look, these people, they're trying to sell you drugs. They're not selling you real drugs anyway. And Portugal has decriminalized most drugs. So the cops don't really do anything about it. It's just one of those little annoyances. But just know, if you're a tourist, and that's the key. Locals say, I don't see this very often. It's the tourists that get asked. Stand outside the Rosio station where you go to Sintra. There's a Starbucks there. There's people selling drugs all the time. We're there with some friends of ours. Their son is 15. Guy came up, would you like some drugs? Like, no, thank you. I'm gonna go take a train to Sintra instead. Oh, okay, these kind of things. So they do ask you hashish, marijuana, cocaina. Just say no, thanks, because they're not selling you real drugs anyway. It's all fake anyway. All right, but it does kind of shock people. And they've asked my mom, who's a little bit older than me, if she wanted drugs. She's like, no, thank you.
Who would ask this woman if she wants drugs. What? Hey, I guess, you know, she might say yes.
So that might shock you when you're here in Lisbon. That's more of a Lisbon-centric thing. Now, the ninth thing that might shock you when you come here is how affordable Portugal is. This is a cheap vacation. To stay, to eat, to travel, it is extremely affordable, okay? So when you come here, your money goes a lot farther. You know, you get one of the small beers here, it's €1. Okay, that same small beer in Sweden is like $8. All right, so you do have a much better time here. Your money goes a lot farther, and you see a lot of tourists have started to see that. So you get tons and tons of tourists coming to Portugal now.
A lot of expats in Portugal, right? I know there's like a huge problem with it. I've watched a couple, not here on the channel, but I've watched some videos on my feed of Americans that have moved to Portugal. And yeah, they just talk about the affordability, and I don't know. Don't know how I feel about it.
Great prices. Yeah. So I tell people, you know, they're looking for a warm, easy place to go. I say, look, Portugal's great. A lot of the people speak English. They're very friendly. They got great food, and it's affordable. So it's a great combination. And there's direct flights all over Europe and to the US from here. So Philly, Newark, places like that. It really makes it a great place to go. So you'll be shocked how affordable it is. You're like, wow, I can get all this stuff. Did they miss something up? No, they didn't. They got it right, okay? So that kind of shocks people how affordable it is here. And then the 10th thing that might shock you when you're here is you'll see the cobblestones here in Portugal, these little tiny squares put together, you know, and they have designs and stuff like that, and it's beautiful. But the thing is, they can be slick as snot. So if you're here and you see the water coming on me, this is from the fountain. This stuff can get very slick. And if you're wearing high heels and stuff like that, it can be very dangerous. So just be careful with the slippery pavement, because I've seen many a tourist go whoops and fall on their butt on the slippery pavement. Now, it doesn't always rain here in Portugal, so it's not a big issue, but just pay attention because it can get very slick. And if there's dog poop there, you know, it'll obviously be slick too. So that'll do it for you. Anyway, those are 10 things that I think that might shock you about visiting Portugal. What are some things that shock?
I didn't think the slippery cobblestone was going to be one of the things, but
about
hey,
visiting
there
Portugal.
it is.
Please put in the comments section below so we can have some more shocks. If you like videos like this.
All right, I could take a quick look at the comments. So someone says, as a Portuguese, the thing that might be most shocking is during the summer seeing French tourists wearing sandals with white socks. Oh, you know, what do we call those? We used to call those shoebies. If you wear socks with sandals, you're a shoebie. Let's see. Aside from sushi in Tokyo, Portugal has some of the best seafood I've ever had in my life. Damn. Someone says wine is quite good in Portugal. Yes, yeah, that's one of the main reasons my friends wanted to go there, was to check out all the amazing vineyards and drink local wine. All right. I'm getting out of here. That was really interesting. Can't wait to see Portugal in person. I feel like I knew probably quite a few of these, especially the smoking one. I feel like that's just continent wide, but nonetheless, good information. Love Wolters World videos, and I can't talk. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.